Today we'll be exploring the Hong Kong Singaporean horror film The Eye, 2002, not the 2008 one because it's trash. But if you haven't checked out my last horror film videos, please do so. The inspiration of this movie was mentioned in an interview with the directors Danny and Oxide Pang brothers. The screenplay was inspired by a report they had seen in a Hong Kong newspaper 13 years before about a 16-year-old that received a corneal transplant then offed herself soon after. Oxide said, "We always wondered what the girl saw when she regained her eyesight finally, and what actually made her want to end her life." Now, starting with the movie, she starts off by saying that this world has a lot of evil things, yet it is beautiful at the same time. She doesn't know if they are right, but she's about to get to know this world all over again, introducing us to the main character, Warkar Mon, but Mon for short. She's blind and she gets an eye cornea transplant from a random donor. She becomes friends with a little girl, Ying Ying, who has to undergo many procedures to remove a black lump on her head. So she's been there for a while. They're such good friends they take this picture together. Later that night, Mon sees her first ghost, but doesn't realize it because she barely started to see. Her eyes are still adjusting. Like the producer, Peter Hosen Chan said during an interview that there are many movies with supernatural sight, but what about seeing ghosts without realizing it? Everything is fresh in her eyes, so she can't tell the difference between human beings and ghosts. Yet that is. But back to this encounter, the old woman gives a hint that she's dead by saying, "I'm freezing." The next day, the nurse confirms the woman is dead. Then Mon tells the nurse that someone had visited that woman last night, an important character, the shadowy figure, who I would think of as the Grim Reaper. And she says they walked out together. Makes me feel like that shadowy figure took the woman's soul and left. Mon's sister takes her to Dr. Low, Mon's psychotherapist, who helps her mentally and with her object recognition. He plays a part later in the film. He's the nephew of the doctor who did Mon's eye cornea transplant of the same name, Dr. Low. Mon is back home, then interacts with the boy, asking if she saw his report card. She tells the grandma about it. Mon looks back, he's gone. Then she's amazed by these lights. Then the kid pops up behind her, squatting, eating the candle. The owner opens the door and asks her what she wants, and relights the candles. I guess Mon wouldn't know the purpose of this shrine because she has never seen one before, showing her lack of object recognition or visual agnosia. I don't know the term, but you know what I'm getting at. The boy also teleports down the hallway. Mon is in this violin music club or group. After practice, the main guy tells her that she can't attend the concert because she's not blind anymore. I'm like, damn, that sucks. The next day, Mon is talking to that boy again. The grandma sees Mon talking to no one and is in shock. The grandma brings over a shaman to ease the spirit of that little boy. The parents feel some kind of guilt because they didn't believe him and he went on to commit suicide. The shaman says when they die like this, they have to repeat their painful deaths every day, and to fix this, they need to tackle the cause of his suicide. Remember this for later viewers. Mon gets visions of her cornea's past life throughout the film, like visions inside of a hospital and a different bedroom. Then a shadow of a chair is on the ground, hinting at what could have happened in that room. The scene shows that maybe she can't trust her eyes. She gets another ghost encounter when she's learning calligraphy. A woman appears in the corner saying, "Why'd you take my seat?" Mon goes to Dr. Low's office, the nephew. He's not there. She goes to eat. At this restaurant, she has another encounter. The ghost is holding a baby. I would guess the baby died with her. She starts licking the window where the food's getting made. Scary and kind of funny at the same time. Mon gets approached by a woman saying, "You can see him too?" So my question is that, does she have the same cornea powers as Mon? Mon crosses the street and runs into a ghost who doesn't realize he's a ghost. He legit barely died down the street. Then the shadowy figure takes him away. Dr. Low, the nephew, finds Mon, and she tells him everything that she sees, like the ghost, the shadowy figure, her room changing before her eyes, and asks for help. But she doesn't believe he believes her, and then leaves. Back at the apartments, a ghost shows up in the elevator. She looks at the camera screen to see if the person is real, but he's not. She goes to a different elevator, and somehow the dude pops up in that one. The old man keeps getting closer and closer to her. Making her leave a floor early. Her running trying to get back to her apartment, she runs into the report card boy again. and he jumps out the window. After these experiences, Mon became a hermit, basically not leaving her room and playing the violin in there. Low nephew meets his uncle and asks him for the identity of the donor, but the uncle won't give it up and thinks that Mon is talking crazy. He doesn't believe she sees these things mentioned before. And also, we find out that Lo loves Mon. I guess it's a love at first sight type of deal. He's only been her psychotherapist for a couple days, but you know, who am I to judge? Mon's grandma calls Lo over to get Mon out of this depression. He gets her a pep talk and gasses her up to play in that group again. She does, then plays until she falls. Ying Ying wakes her up at the hospital. She's saying that she can leave now and go to school. Then the shadowy figure appears behind her. She died during her operation. Dr. Lo, the uncle, walks up to tell her the news about Ying Ying. She stops him, saying that she knows Ying Ying is dead. She saw her. Now the uncle believes her. On the train, she finally sees the picture she and Ying Ying took together. She's like, she put the wrong picture in the card. At first, I was like, you silly goose, that's you. However, there's a ghost reflection on the window. Mon looks up and sees her, then looks back at the picture, then screams. I would say the woman in the picture was actually the ghost in front of her. The uncle now believes Lo and gets the info about the donor. So he and Mon goes to Bangkok, Thailand, to find Chu Wai Ling. They find the doctor to find out where Ling lives, but he's like, nah, I can't give that out. Until Mon says that she can see what Ling sees. So Ling had the power to foresee death and disaster. Everyone thought she was the devil because when she tried to warn someone about their death, they would die later. At this part, the doctor takes them to Ling's house. Then this big fire happened, and Ling was trying to warn everyone, but everyone in the village thought she was weird and drove her off. At midnight, the fire happened. 300 people died. She hanged herself the day after. Mon and Lo spend the night there, and Mon tries to convince the mother to save Ling upstairs, but she's like, nah, she's dead. How can she die again? And at the same time, she feels betrayed because she would stand up for her, and just for her to kill herself? Damn. The mother goes upstairs the last second and saves Ling, basically putting her soul to rest. At first, it was Ling's face, then it changes to Mon's. The explanation for this is Ling possesses Mon to attempt suicide. Then when the mother saves the soul, the spirit is at peace, leaving her body. Their journey is over, and they're taking the bus home. They get caught in a traffic jam. Mon suddenly sees shadowy figures walking along the bus. Some gas truck tipped over, leaking gas. Mon tries to warn people in the cars, but they probably think that she's some crazy lady. No one listens to her. Then some dude turns on his car and ignites the gas, blowing up every car, basically causing a big explosion. Lo ducks down with Mon, saving her, but they can't say the same for the other people. It's crazy that this explosion was based on a real event. In like 1990, Bangkok had a gas explosion where this truck was speeding, trying to beat a red light. He tried to avoid oncoming traffic. He swerved left, tipped over on its side before sliding into a building. It was found that these gas cylinders weren't secured, so these two cylinders were flying, one of them cracking in the process, releasing the gas, then getting ignited by sparks from the crash. Crazy, right? Killing 59 civilians and injuring more. However, other web articles list the deaths close to 100. In the end, Mon is blind again because the glass gets in her eye during the explosion scene. She says she'll never again ask why she is blind, for she has seen the most beautiful things in the world, things she'll never forget, and she has Lo as her boyfriend now. I'm like, yay, happy ending, right? But at the same time, we just saw hella people die. Additional information about that, the tanker explosion, right? The Pang brothers mentioned that they wanted to end the movie with a big disaster, so they thought of this real life accident straight away.